Evening, everyone. Sorry, a bit late. Just a few little technical hiccups. Um, Welcome to episode 6 of Come Unstuck. And I'm Richo. This is Lukey over here. We're your
Hi
hosts
guys.
for this evening. um, let's jump into it. So, what was the question?
When you say host for this evening, does that mean that at some stage I'm probably going to get sacked and I'll no longer be one of the hosts, or is it just making it sound more important than what it is?
Mate, you're very smart, eh? Like you can tell.
I've figured this out.
Consider
I know what's happening.
you know the game plan, man. Man,
Oh, well,
as soon as I go to America, I meet Gary V, man. I'm sorry, bro, but you're out. Gary's in.
look, I'm in for as long as it takes, mate. As long as you need me, and then I'll just go. It's fine. So as you were,
um, so what was the question? Was it if you could change one thing? Where is it? Yeah, if you could change one thing in the world, what would it be?
yeah, the world's hardest question. So thanks for that to whoever's fired that through.
Oh, I think you should go first in this one, man. I went first on the last one.
Oh man, can you go first?
Nah, bro, it's your turn.
I feel like you're going to have a completely different. Okay, yeah. Look, I'll happily go first. I found this really hard, to be honest, and I didn't. I decided not to go down the route of curing cancer or curing food availability, or making everybody a superhero or whatever. I've decided to just stick to something very basic, and I think it would be fantastic if um, we could change the world where everybody knew what they were good at an earlier age. Feedback? Nothing? Just
I mean, I think it's kind of boring. Well, and only because it's like then you kind of miss out on the whole taste stuff where you get to kind of actually learn how to figure that out and like
yeah, okay.
um, have the
All
fun
right.
in that experience.
Yeah, I
That's just
think
my opinion.
no, yeah, I see where you came from there. I think where I'm going with that is probably you might call it self-awareness, that actually people were
Mm.
injected with a bit more self-awareness. I think that we just see all too common people, you know, regretting things later in life or getting to middle age and then having this big fucking crisis about, oh, holy shit, like this isn't what I wanted to do, or this isn't who I am, and I'm actually really good at making light bulbs and I'm a fucking janitor or I'm an accountant or something. But I just think the value of actually understanding better about who you are is so valuable, and there's no real way. It's never taught. You're never taught that growing up.
Mm.
So to give like a contextual example, when I've played footy as a young fella, and I was pretty good at it at primary school. I made the reps and stuff, and then I went to high school and I went to the third form trials, so the first year of school, and was like, oh yeah, I'll hold my own. Like I'm good at soccer, and I turned up and I was so I was no chance of making like the top team and stuff, and I can still remember being like, holy shit, this is like so confronting for me. I actually thought I was quite good at this, and all these people are like can juggle soccer balls and do all this shit that I could never do. And I continued to play soccer, and I had accepted that I wasn't as good as what I thought I might have been when I met people that were better. Um,
Mm.
and then I went and I moved away to a small town, and I decided to play soccer again to meet some mates and whatnot. And I had this moment where I was like, you know what, I wanna be like really good at this. And so I brought two soccer balls, and for hours a day, I would go and spend time on my own and try and get better. And I'd practice and I'd practice and I'd practice. And at the end of like probably a really good solid period of practicing, I realized I was still shit. And I, but, but
You
I
had
then
fun, didn't you?
realized, yeah, I then realized that I was good at something else. I was good at being the fittest in the team. I was good at out strategizing my opponent. I was good at camaraderie and teamwork. I was good at bringing everybody together. I was good at having a good time, and I was good at being a team player rather than being a good soccer player. And I think when I embraced that, I made the switch from, okay, I need to be good at this to I just need to be good at what I'm good at, and then just tripled down on that. And I think, and then I was able to hold my own in like a top level team for a number of years. I'd make sure I was the first to training, the fittest person at preseason training. I'd try and work the hardest there. I'd try and be the fastest, etc. All the things that I knew I could control to a point. And then I knew when I needed to run to the young fella that had just had the wind taken out of his sails and pick him up and say, mate, you're fucking playing awesome, bro. Keep it up. We need you, you know. And those are the things that would then they'd come back and say, oh man, that was so awesome, blah blah blah. I knew those things were really important. I then realized I don't have to be the best soccer player because I'm fucking shit at it. I just have to accept that, and so I have to be better at the things I'm good at. So give that example as I think it's a good example of like a real contextual way of how I actually applied that. And I just think that there's no one really teaching throughout your early life like how to actually understand what you are good at as a person. Like if I said to you and people listening, like, what are you good at? Like most people would probably actually struggle to figure out and give you a sentence of like what they're actually good at. And then if you challenge them on why they're good at that, like, but so why don't we do any work around that? Like, why does it take us to figure this shit out way later in life rather than someone teaching us at an early age? Like, oh, did you know you're actually like really, really good with people? So your personality maps you towards like, being a counselor, not fucking off doing whatever you are doing at the moment. Like, so yeah, that's kind of how I approach the question, Rico.
Yeah, I like that. I definitely liked when you kind of took that self-awareness kind of turn.
Yeah.
How old were you when you were doing that soccer stuff?
Oh man, like seriously, like I've told people this story and they're kind of like, holy shit, there's something wrong with you. Like, so I was probably mid 20s, even like late 20s, and I'd go to the park on my own, and basically I like
Mm.
set myself things that I needed to do, and I'd say like I can't go home until I juggle the ball 100 times, and that was like too easy. So I doubled it to 200, and then I remember this one night where I just couldn't get there, and I was just getting so frustrated, and like so I got to like 199 and dropped it twice, and I was just like, man, there's some huge like mental lessons here. Like this can't happen twice at 199. And I think there was one time I had to like admit defeat and get back in the car and go home, and I was just like, this will never happen again. And so I never went and did it again. But I time and was just like, man, like my improvement of how good I got at soccer was probably 1%. But I think the lessons that I learned in doing it were like tenfold about, fuck, this is the wrong approach. I need to actually just understand what my role is in the team and be better at that than trying to be this hero because I'm not, like, I'm not naturally talented.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's probably
No,
about 26, mate, 27. Had heaps on still.
Yeah, that sounds cool. I kind of want to shout out to I can see Leo Chang's watching. He's in South Korea, so
Oh, nice.
boys,
Is that
we're
legal?
going pretty huh? Is
Is
that
that legal to
illegal?
watch?
I don't know. Maybe it's like just the Korean government watching us just to make sure we're not let me just use his Facebook or something.
That's
I
true.
don't know. No, it sounds that was pretty cool. Were you just gonna ask what do I have?
Yeah, man, what have you got for me?
What I got for you? I had selfishness.
Whoa.
Selfishness. Yeah.
So we should
And
be
like
more selfish? Oh,
no. So like I would remove selfishness, and I feel like a lot of stuff that's like holding us back as a society, as evolution, like a lot of it comes down to that kind of selfishness stuff. Like for example, a majority of people, right? They go when they're doing these jobs because they want to because they just want to make money to kind of live, and like, that's kind of like, maybe I can give a better example.
Bro, I know where you're going, and this is awesome. Yep.
Yeah, like I just kind of feel like it's, yeah, like you're not thinking about, like, because you're not thinking about what you actually are there to do or what I want to do. You're being selfish and thinking about your security, sort of thing. Does that make sense? Like,
Yeah.
you're just focused on making the dollar. Like, where it's like you might be able to actually give a lot of great insight into something or whatever, but you're not going to do that because you're focused on making that dollar for you. Like, you see a lot in work politics, like where people won't share ideas because, they want to have the idea in order to, like, get the promotion or whatever. Where it just fucks me off. Like, I'm just honestly, like, don't get me started on politics and stuff. But like, at the end of the day, like, my opinion is, if you're going to work for a company or something, it's like, my view has always been like, like, you just want to help move that forward. But there's just so much other selfish bullshit that happens in the background. So that doesn't happen. And then it holds it back, right? Because no one talks about it, no one communicates, no one actually shares their ideas to move anything forward. So it just, like, it fucking goes nowhere. Like, it's just ridiculous. Like, like, if there was no selfishness, we would have world peace. Do you know what I mean? Like, there would be no bullshit, like, of like who's got the best country or whatever. Like, because it would just be like, cool, let's just chill. How do we help move society forward? How do we help move the world forward? Like, but instead, it's like you've got all this other shit going on where it's like, I got to make the most money. I got to control the most land and all that sort of stuff. Where it's like, just, if none of that shit existed and it was like, let's just focus on actually moving us forward. Like, I reckon we would be we would be so much further than we are now. We'd be flying to Mars and living on Mars and shit, like, if there wasn't this sort of stuff.
Yeah.
I actually wrote a few notes, like, because when I read this question, I was just like, oh my God, I know exactly what I'm going to say. Like, because I'm very passionate about this sort of stuff. I just feel like as people, we just act so selfishly all the time. It comes down to, like, being considerate, like, to thinking of other people, like, it's just crazy. Like, I don't know, whatever. And I feel like another thing I was just thinking about as well was, like, the whole selfishness stuff, it makes us think very small picture as opposed to big picture.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Excuse me.
Money wouldn't even probably be a necessity. Like, think about why money and shit was kind of like invented, was to, create some sort of measurement of, worth, where it's like, if there was no selfishness, that shit just wouldn't matter. Yeah, I don't know.
It's
and then
tricky
people could
one.
yeah.
Because, like, I think, does it genetically come out of us as, like, I don't really understand this shit very well, but, some people want more than others, right? So then are they technically more selfish than other people? But then we live in a society of, like, competition and stuff, and so what, like, if we didn't have selfishness, then how the fuck would, like, a game of rugby happen? Because it'd be like, nah, man, I don't want to win, man. I want you guys to win, bro, because we won last time, man. I don't want to win every time. And then people be like, oh, fuck, I'm not watching this shit, man. I'm selfish. I don't have any selfishness. I don't want to watch this shit, man. I want to go and help the bloody guys next door build that rocket to Mars instead of wasting my time watching rugby. Like, I don't know. Instead of that, I don't want to. Why would I want to? I don't want to watch this coming unstuck shit, man. I need to do something good with my time. This is being selfish. I'm wasting. These fuckers are selfish. They're taking all my fucking time away watching these shitty golas. It's a tough one. But I know where you're coming from.
Yeah.
I think that that when people say they're not selfish, they're full of shit. I think everyone's fucking selfish. I had this conversation with Ben a little while ago about how everybody at the table has got their own vested interest, or they've got their own they've got their own reasons to be like so passionate about the things they're passionate about, and it actually just comes from like a place of their own selfishness, and lack of like fucking caring for the other person's interests. And like that's like, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but I think it like blinds a lot of people. And I love the classic one. I love is just like how people will preach like fucking till they're blue in the face about how you should deal with their business, because man, like my bosses are like the best guys, and like my organization's just like the best, and fucking like you don't understand, don't use the competitors, blah blah blah. Don't know why I put on a female accent for that, apologies. But then you talk to them like a year later and you're like, what are you up to? And they're like, oh, like I fucking changed jobs, I'm now like working for the opposition. And I'm like, you are full of fucking shit. You only fucking spoke like that a year ago because you were getting paid well, and now you're selfish and you're working for the other people because you're getting fucking paid more. Fuck off. Excuse me. But you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
Fires
Like,
me up, bro.
I agree with you, 100%. Yeah, it's like always having some sort of agenda. Like, and I feel like that happens so much these days, where it's like you can't just, I don't know, go to a dinner or something and just like have a good time. Like, or like, with, when you go to like social work events as well, I feel like, oh, you have to network and you have to do this. And it's just like, fuck, man, why can't I just chill? Like, why can't I just actually like, hang out with the people that I actually enjoy hanging out with? And like, not that I'm not dissing networking, but it's like networking for the right reasons. Like wanting to get to know people because you genuinely want to get to know them, not because they'll push you forward in some other like job or whatever. Like, just being fucking genuine.
Yeah, I like
There's so much like heat tonight.
Yeah, you got me angry now. Everyone's so selfish. I mean, little do people know that I'm doing this video so that fucking when you get famous, I can be like, hey, get me on. I want to fucking, selfishly boost my profile. Yeah, look,
like, so did you start this with some other cut? No, I don't know.
Guys are fucked when I tell you that much for free though. Yeah, look at. Yeah, no, it's true though. Look, I'm all good with selfishness. Like, I'm sweet with people getting the shit that they want, but like, I just laugh at people that it's so blatant, and if they just can't be honest, like, oh yeah, bro, I'm actually really only doing this because I'm fucking pretty hopeful that I'll get a pay rise. Not like, oh, here's all the bullshit. PS, the cover up is that I actually want to get a 10K bonus, so. That's why I want you to sign this deal, bro, so I can get my cash or whatever. And it's just like, just be honest, man. Just cut the shit.
It's basically prostitution.
We're all prosties.
There you go. So anyone out there who's watching this, and you do that sort of shit, you've been a prostitute. So that's nice. Legal in a lot of places. Sure. So.
Yeah, I think it's And then just to go on a bit of a tangent, like I was just talking at dinner with the olds about how it's really funny how people are like just passionate about their little niches. And I used an example today where there's a mate of mine and she works in like conservation, and she was like freeing some eels today, and I'm just like, what the fuck? What even job is that? Like, who like even cares about that? Yeah, like taking them out of this area where they're stuck and like fucking, gonna have trap them to then release them so that their lives don't end when they come and dig up this fucking pool of water where they are or something like that. I don't really fully understand it, but I'm just mind blown. I'm like, man, I'm over here doing my thing, doing my journey, and I'm trying to refund some money to parents earlier on. And I'm just like, this bird's out there fucking saving some eels. I'm like, what the fuck is that? But it's just like we choose like the things we're passionate about, right? And the things we care about. And then we selfishly invest all of our energy and thoughts and opinions around those things. And then if anybody takes us on, we're like, oh no, I gotta defend those because these are the things that I'm passionate about.
Yeah.
You reckon that's fair?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
I think I I definitely would. Yeah, like I would remove selfishness. I do see obviously there are positives. I'm playing in this little Spider-Man. I just love this little guy.
Hayden's the scrap says, love the heat cafe buddy, hidden agendas, #prosties. I love the scrap. So good. Yeah.
That's the advertising. got some grand for that.
My point just quickly before was that, like, I think it's cool to be passionate about your shit. And I think that's what I've kind of accepted now that I've got a bit older. It's just like, oh yeah, like some people are passionate about those things, and I just don't really need to have an opinion on those just to have an opinion. I can just be like, oh cool man, like that's their thing. Like go and hang out with them if you want to be part of that, or like go and ask them because they're going to know more about it than me, or like that's cool. Like I'm trying to help some parents out, but to other people they're like, oh, what's the point? Who cares? Like that money should be doing blah 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 whatever. And it's like, yeah, cool, sweet, and just let people do their thing instead of being all like, oh, you have to fucking support my cause and my cause is the only one. And shut up. Yeah. I promise I haven't been drinking. I promise I haven't been drinking.
Oh my gosh, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm on like my third glass of whiskey.
Sure.
How do we do this? Man.
Is that us? Is that just about us, mate?
Cool, yeah. I mean, does anyone have any questions they want us to run through? Leo, you still watching? What's going on in the old Korea front? You all met Kim Jong? You guys all sweet?
Anyone got anything they reckon they'd be keen to change about the world?
We did get a couple of comments.
Oh yeah, there was a great comment from Claire.
Oh yeah.
That's it. Claire said that she'd like to change people's perspective that life is tough and we need to make the best of it. I feel that's a limiting belief that holds us back. I prefer to know that I have the ability to adapt and change as life unfolds. That's a much lighter and more enjoyable perspective. I fucking love this, Claire lady. That's fantastic. But it's so true. Man. Okay, well, no, not like that. I just love the energy, the attitude. I just, I was speaking to a mate over the weekend who's facing a pretty dire circumstance, and I sort of said, look, in reality, you could be staring down the barrel of like these three outcomes, and they all suck, and you're gonna have to start again, but that's all good. Like you just have to just start, like. It could be what happens, but we're gonna have to let all that shit go and not dwell about it and keep going and take the learning and push on, because that's probably the only otherwise you're gonna waste time and energy dwelling about shit that's been and gone that you can't control anymore. So yeah, I think that that mindset thing and positivity and the way that you look at the world is pretty powerful.
Yeah, I agree. I do love the old mindset stuff, but I definitely agree.
And what's Will says he'd like to make fMRI scans accessible for it to be standard practice of psychiatry or I mean, I can't even pronounce that fucking word. So I mean, what is that?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure what he was saying. Making fMRI scans accessible, standard practice of psychiatry globally.
Psychiatry, yeah.
Psychiatry. I should probably know that. Studying psychology.
I need some.
I don't know. I haven't really got anything on that one. But I was just when you were saying that stuff about your mate, I had this conversation with my mum the other day. It would have been like a couple of weeks ago. And I was like saying how I kind of feel like I've kind of got to that point where I've gone like totally, I don't know, backwards, where, I was in this job and like I was like earning over 100K a year and just like loving life and killing it. And then all of a sudden like that kind of fell through. I go to America, have a grand old time, get back, and then like because I don't have a degree, it just made it so much harder for me to actually find a job. And then I took a job that I'm overqualified for, earning a lot less money. And now literally I have like I had a whole apartment worth of stuff. Now I have like 2 suitcases to my name and this computer. My phone's not even mine, it's work. But I was just thinking about what you were saying about your mate, how it's like, going back and like, having to start over again. Like I definitely feel like I'm in that kind of space. But to be fair, like for anyone who's gone through that sort of stuff, I reckon I'm like probably almost the happiest I've ever been, and it just comes from like just doing this, like
Yeah,
this,
bro.
like I literally have like less than half, money, like no ass, like I have fucking nothing, but like just doing this because it's like I feel like it's my purpose and all that sort of stuff is just like making me feel great. Like it's fine. I don't need anything else.
Yeah, that's awesome, bro.
Like a tent.
That's
If
awesome.
anyone's got a tent, could use that just in case it's like
A tent. Yeah. Well, I guess it comes down to trying to figure out what those things are that make us happy, right? Rather than trying to conform to the social norms of having a apartment or, you know, all of that shit and looking at social media and being like, oh, I need to compare myself to them or whatever. Just doing your own thing.
Yeah, man. Fuck the free world. It's just,
I watched the Defiant ones over the weekend. That's a sick little viewing. I don't watch much TV, but admittedly, I did. I tuned into the 4 episodes of Jimmy Iovine and Dr. Dre and watched the story, and that's some pretty
oh, it's
inspirational
on
stuff, to be
Netflix.
honest. Yeah,
Yeah.
and they
Oh yeah.
there's some inspirational stuff in there. It's well worth the watch. I mean, outside of look, I saw there's sort of the top two showings at the moment. I think it was Come Unstuck was number one, and the Defiant Ones was the second. So you, you couldn't go
Sorry,
past those
mate.
two.
Emails just come through from Netflix. $2,000 will be deposited to you boys.
Yes, good. That's how it works. Yeah.
Fuck, I wish, man.
No, I like how you identified little, probably last year at some stage that you were a bit unhappy and whatnot, and you were kind of just talking the same shit every time I caught up with you, and I was just like, man, what are you gonna do to like find some fulfillment? Because it's not gonna come from this job. So like, fuck. And then you were like, oh yeah, that's a good point. And then you went away and you did it.
Yeah, I think I needed to. I didn't really have. I think I had to. I didn't really have anything else that was keeping me in good spirits. So I needed to. I needed to find something.
Yeah. God bless fibre internet, eh? How good is it?
Oh man.
Awesome.
Comes through. Yeah, man. I don't really have much. I don't really have much else. How's your week been?
Yeah, good man. It's only Monday, so
So I meant last week.
yeah. Oh yeah, last week. Man, I can barely remember what I got up to. Right? Yeah, I got a bit on the plate. Oh, I had a pretty challenging week last week. Actually, I actually went through a little bit of a lull and a bit of a just a bit of a beaten up stage, to be honest. Just where I was just kind of like, oh fuck, man, this stuff didn't work out the way I wanted it to, and I was just feeling a little bit defeated. But yeah, I I'll bounce back, and I think I have, and I just sort of realigned the way I was thinking about some of those things, some of those challenges. But yeah, I was pretty down and out. I don't get down for too long, but I just get like a bit. I was just I was 12 rounds and I got a hiding, so I thought I still had a right hook to throw, and they fucking just took it off me, it hurt. I felt like I didn't really get the chance to throw it, which is a shame. But I'll go back. I'll go back and we'll fight again. And I'll be better prepared. And yeah, I might be able to throw it, but I think I'll be better to try and outbox them over the next 12 rounds rather than throw that right hook. So I think that was the lesson for me there. Instead of trying to be a hero and knock them out, I think if I'm realistic, I'm gonna have to get better at fighting for longer. If that makes any sense to anybody.
Yeah, it's all about endurance.
Yeah. What about you, man? Any lessons? Anything for you?
Any lessons last week? I mean, I've actually lost a lot of weight. That was pretty cool. I weighed myself on Saturday, and I've actually got to the 100 kg mark, which I have been struggling with for a very long time ever since getting back from the US. So that was pretty sweet.
Nice, boy.
What did I learn?
You didn't get on one
I
of these
wouldn't do
fucking
it.
keto diets or something, did you? Or like the lemon detox diet or
No,
something? Good man.
no, man, no, man. I'm definitely
Good.
definitely still drinking a lot of beers and yeah. So just anyone who's interested in fucking diets and stuff, like I reckon what I've learned, and this is okay, this is the lesson I fucking learned. It's just consistency. Like that's all it is. Like, um, yeah, it's just being consistent. And not doing the same thing every single time you go to the gym or whatever. Like, and it's like, for example, for me, like I do 4 different workouts a week that work the whole body, and I've just been doing those every week. I mean, I haven't even been eating too amazingly. I mean, you saw me smash that palmy last weekend with the chips and shit, and like, but like,
Oh
I'm
yeah.
just surprised as that, the effects it's actually having on my body and the energy. Just as long as you're covering the whole body and whatever, like and staying consistent. Because I was doing like when I got back from the US, I remember like training. There was like I was training 5 days a week, and I was just doing weights and all that sort of stuff, and a little bit of cardio. But I never got to the point I am at now because it
Yeah.
was like I was just doing the same 2 workouts 5 times a week, or whatever. Like,
Yeah.
but now because I've just like changed up a little bit, I really like just doing different shit like yoga, weights, whatever. Like it's just having really good effect.
Nice man.
Um,
I think that's my whole gripe with like those keto diets and all that sort of stuff. Like, yeah, cool, they might work allegedly, but I think they're not sustainable. So then you can't have
mm,
consistency, and we all know that a quality life, diet, fucking exercise, all that shit requires consistency. So man, it just does my head in when I see people spending all this fucking money on these fucking diets. Sorry, I get so fired up about it. But oh man, I'm doing keto now, man. And you talk to them 4 months later. Oh yeah, how's that going? Oh yeah, nah, man, I'm not doing it anymore, bro. I'm doing the fucking lemon detox diet. I'm doing the. Shut up. Just fuck. Yeah, just sorry, man. That's yeah. Shouldn't be so pessimistic because it probably does work for some people, but like you just can't beat a consistency and a consistent attitude towards looking after your rig with good health and good food.
I feel a lot of them are kind of it's all about a business fucking thing. You know what I mean? Like it's all like they are kind of like fat. Like it's like oh yeah, I'm gonna try this new diet. But it's exactly what you said. They're not sustainable. So you do it
Yeah,
for you do it on and off for maybe a couple of years, and then a new one will come out, and it'll
yeah,
essentially be the same sort of thing. Like this whole keto stuff, like it's cutting carbs and having high fat and high protein and whatever. It's like that's the same shit that's in that. Like I remember a bit like looking into fucking 10 years ago when I was doing fitness and stuff. Like it's like it's the same shit. Like it's just got a different name. Do you know what I mean?
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
but yeah, but then again, they're not sustainable. Like you need to have the balance. I think like scales are a really bad thing. Like so, I think what's helped me this time round is that I haven't been weighing myself like every now constantly to
yeah.
like do my progress. Like I'm more just trying to build that. I actually got this from bloody Kerwin Ray, but like he says in one of his videos where it's like you've got to make your business has to be about your lifestyle, not about making like a quick buck or whatever. But like he actually was talking about his health and stuff, and it's so true. Like if you want to have your body a certain way or to live your life a certain way, then you need to make that a lifestyle. You can't just make
Yeah,
it like a quick like sprint week. Like
yeah,
you need to actually make those changes and just take time and be consistent and just reap the rewards in the end.
definitely, bro. Otherwise, you'll find that before the end of 2018, the Come Unstuck podcast will release the Calorie Diet, which features 3 fucking meals a day, and we'll send them to you, and it's guaranteed to help you lose weight, and it's a bottle of fucking water each meal with no calories, and of course you'll fucking lose weight. It's just such a lot of bullshit. I just fuck. I think I gotta go. I think I gotta go.
Getting
Yeah,
too fired up. No, it's
yeah,
good,
but
man. It's good, man. No, no, this has been a good one. Thanks. Do you have any final thoughts?
yeah. Next week in New Zealand, it's Men's Health Month, so we're gonna get deep on some shit. And we've even been asked to do a little podcast for the Men's Health Trust that they may share. So I'll probably have to not swear for 30 minutes, which could be tough for me. But I'll have a crack at it in the name of Men's Health Trust. So if anyone's got any questions or topics they want us to cover for next week, then sing out. Otherwise, maybe we'll start with why don't boys talk about their feelings?
I like it. I like it.
I'll take a week to study that one. And if anyone actually wants that calorie diet, hit me up on Facebook. It's $849 a month, and I'll hook you up. It's fucking sick, guaranteed to lose weight. You'll probably lose function of your of your normal fucking life vessels and organs as well.
Of your
but anyway,
body.
Yeah.
Death may happen. But yeah, cool. Thanks, guys, for tuning in. Just a reminder, if you do know anyone who you think might be interested in our content, send them a lad and like add them to the group. Anything else? Thank you.
Oh,
thank you.
There's a huge question here from the scrap before we go. Kids are our future. However, as an educator, it is becoming scarily how self-absorbed, technology-bound, lacking those basic life skills, and therefore battling with their mental well-being. How do we, not feelings, Lukey, sorry, Paulie, how do we develop students who are more fulfilled, happy, and well-rounded young adults of the world? Oh, that's a tough one. It's a tough one. What do you think, Rico? You got any questions? Any thoughts there, mate?
Yes, change the fucking school system.
There you go,
I mean, yeah, I think that's what it comes down to. I think our school system's out fucking dated. Like it's just we're focusing on the wrong stuff. I think think about all the stuff like Luke and I are talking about, and like you can see it changing in society now. Like people are becoming more open. We need to teach our future generations to be more open and to look at things they might be interested in and whatever. Like open, like teaching change the fucking education system and teaching kids to be open about their feelings and all that sort of stuff. Like, and I think that'll change the freaking world.
Yeah, so I think, how do you teach someone to become a good accountant? You teach them accounting. How do you teach someone to be good at soccer? You teach them how to play soccer. How do you teach someone to be more fulfilled? You teach them how to fucking find fulfillment. How do you teach them how to be happy? You teach them how to be happy. How do you teach them to be well-rounded? You teach them what well-rounded is and show them how to be well-rounded. Simple as that. I think this whole technology is fucking us all. Is just going to like keep dragging on for as long as we let that be the problem. Well, the fucking schools that are now saying this, sorry, Scrap, are the ones that said, oh, we need iPads and all this shit in our fucking classroom and, turn up with a phone and blah, blah, blah. Like, yeah, we're all more connected, but that's not really going to change unless people, decide not to use it that way. So I guess we've got to start teaching some of these things that we want in people earlier on, and someone's going to have to figure out how to do it. I asked an academia, if that's the word, the other day, if they thought the education system was outdated. And she just looks me in the eye. She's like, yeah, oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm like, oh, sure. Like, I thought, well, surely she might get defensive or be like, oh, not really. But she's just like, oh, yeah, well behind. I'm like, okay, sure. But she makes $1 teaching this shit. She has to. So she's tough. But the cool thing is that with technology and all these things that people are self-absorbed in is that there's access to things, if people want to find them, that can potentially be beneficial for their health and for their upbringing and their well-being that they wouldn't have necessarily had access to if they grew up 20 years ago.
Technology is not the issue. Like
people
I agree. And exactly. And it comes down to exactly what I was saying before about selfishness. Like there are people who are being too fucking selfish to want to learn something new and adapt to change. So it's like, instead of doing that, we're going to sit back and complain and say this new thing is shit. Do you know what I mean? Like it's been happening for years and years and years. We always complain about every fucking new thing that comes out. But you know what? We're still here. It's the reality. Like people would have been complaining about fucking TVs, radios, because it gives everyone a voice. Do you know what I mean? Like, but we're still fucking here. It's still happening.
I think. Yeah, and we've got to have better role models, or just role models for people. And people will gravitate towards the people that they find motivation from. So if we can showcase more of those good people, then we'll be on to winning. But definitely, I can see
Exactly.
where the scrap's coming from, and it must be tough. Like I remember another one of my teaching mates saying how it's just, he used to go to school to teach, and now he goes to school and teaches them where to learn. If that makes sense. So just like, basically all the information and all the answers are going to be available to us, whereas before we used to have to go and rope learn the answers to pass an exam. Well, now we'll be like, sir, why do I need to learn this shit? I can just fucking Google it. I mean, it probably already happens, but literally you'll be hooked up to a device that will give you the answers. Um,
Yeah.
It'll be like, hey, hey Val, tell me the next top 5 stocks of New Zealand, and he'll be like A2 Milk, NZX, Main Freight, and this is a gag for one of the guys watching. But like the answers will all be connected to us, so we won't have to learn shit anymore because we'll just have to learn where to learn the answer from.
I feel
Probably
like
won't even
I
go
have
to
this like
school.
I have this little. I got really annoyed. I remember when I was like, I don't know, 18 or something, when had to do my first tax return or something, and I got really annoyed they didn't teach us that in school. And I was just like, I actually remember having having done it. My mum and my dad, I can't remember, and I actually said this. I was just like, I've been out of school now a year, 2 years, and like I've had to do a tax return. I'm like looking how do you rent a plate, and like how do you go and interview. It's like you don't get taught any of this fucking shit, where it's like this is
Nah.
the shit you actually probably need in the real world. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of good stuff, like little good facts and stuff that you can learn in school, but in terms of how necessary a lot of it is, a lot of it's just not. You know what I mean? Like, and like I don't think I'm not trying to offend anyone by saying that sort of stuff. Some people are passionate about history, and some aren't. Like,
Yeah.
and I think for those who are passionate about that sort of stuff, then great. But like, oh, hang on, we've got another question. I think part of it is, oh, hang on.
I think part of it is the education system, but it needs to start at home first. The generation is the youth of instantaneous gratification. Be better parents. Take your kids outside. Show them tough love. Teach them resilience, and prepare them for the real world and the super bottle. Yeah, nice.
Yeah, I kind of that just reminded me of what I posted the other day about everyone needs to burn, and like
Yeah,
because that's just my little thought, and it's like because I seriously look back on my life, and I look back on like I'm 30 now, and I look back on all the shit things that have happened. And I remember at the time I was like, it felt terrible. I remember like your first heartbreak, man, when you're like early 20s or whatever. Like I was like, I was fucking so depressed, and like you just your life's over, and then you get to 30 and you just realize that shit's just like whatever. It's not that bad. Like,
getting heartbroken every week.
nah, but like, do you know what I mean? Like, do you know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
it gets easier.
yeah,
But no, but
yeah.
I mean, my point is, it's like, fuck, what was I saying? I don't know. There's just a lot of shit in life, but I've totally forgot what my train of thought, man. That's good.
Yeah,
um,
yeah,
oh yeah. My point was everyone needs to burn because that's how you grow. Like
yeah,
it's if you get treated like shit, it's like for example, I remember like this is ages ago when I was like early 20s. I think like a girl like messed me around and like had another guy on the side and stuff. And like I hated girls for a while, and then I was like, then I wasn't the best bloke, and
yeah,
I'll be open to that, and then I'll be open to admitting that, and then like I remember like one of the girls like I cared for ended up hurting her feelings, and I was just like, oh, that's shit. Like I've become what happened to me. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, why would I?
yeah,
Like, I've become the person that I actually end up really hating, and it's like, why? I'm just adding to this ball of bullshit. It's like a fucking endless cycle. Guys be shit to girls and girls be shit to guys, but it's like somewhere it's just got to fucking stop. And I think it just takes for people just to stand up and go, no, well, fuck, like I'm not gonna add to the ball of negativity and bullshit and just put a stop to it and just deal with it and let go and just love, man.
Whoa, yeah,
Oh,
that was deep. So yeah, there you go, Scrappy. That's how we're gonna fucking solve the kids being more fulfilled. Yeah, nah, but yeah,
drunk.
I think there was actually another question someone posted to me was
Okay,
here.
so
We're still
actually
kicking.
I have a little final just thing I want to say on that hippies thing, because
Yeah.
so I mean think about why. Okay, so hippies have like this negative
You
view
fuck,
to
you love
like
this yarn, eh?
yeah.
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
like when you think hippie, you think of this smelly fucking airy fairy flaky person, like whatever. When the main message I think that they were actually trying to talk about was just like love and openness and happiness or whatever. But who gave them the negative view? It was like, people, I don't know, government, were people who were scared of like people waking up and realizing that that's all that actually really mattered.
Yeah.
But they were painted in this light, so people would stop listening to them. When actually, like, these people were just like, they actually work on the next level, and they were realizing that no, this other bullshit mattered, and they were free and they were happy and it was all great, and they would try and teach other people that, but they were being stopped by whatever all this other stuff was going on.
Yeah, man.
That's
Going back to that thing about history before, I'm not very good with history, so I don't even really understand all this hippie stuff, but it sounds like they had a fucking good time.
Yeah.
They were pretty chilled out about everything.
All right, cool. Are we good? Is there anything else? Any final thoughts?
No, I think we're 45 deep, mate. I think we've probably...
Yeah, this is the longest one we've done, I think. So, unless anyone else has any burning questions they want to ask, or we can save it till next time. Nothing. All right, cool. Thanks, guys, for tuning in. Just like Luke said, next week we'll be doing a little cool vid for, is it Men's Health in New Zealand?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
New Zealand Men's Health Week. Another reminder, like, if you know anyone who might be interested in what we're doing and stuff, please add them into the group. You'd be surprised who's actually interested in this sort of stuff and who's not. Thank you all for tuning in. Thanks for listening. Love having you guys watching us and hearing us yarn. Good to have a bit of an audience. Yeah, cool. Hit us up if you have any questions or you just want to be.
Have a good week, team.
All right, guys. Love y'all.